And I just kept coming back to my thoughts around we find what we're looking for. And for the most part, we do, but sometimes it requires us to call in the expert because sometimes what you're looking for can't be found alone. Not because you're not smart enough, or I'm not smart enough, or we're not capable enough, but because you need a different perspective. You need a better tool, a fresh set of eyes, or simply someone who has been there before and can guide you. Welcome to the Life Coaching for Mompreneurs podcast, where you will learn simple solutions to win at work without losing at home. Hi, my name is Martine Williams, and I'm your host and CEO, your Chief Encouragement Officer. And this podcast is your one-stop shop to creating a burnout-proof life and business by elevating your clarity, confidence, and courage. Friends, it's time to say goodbye to being the yes girl, to procrastinating on your goals and living in overwhelm. And it's time to say hello to creating healthy boundaries, healthy mindsets, and healthy habits so that you can achieve work-life harmony. Your next breakthrough starts here. This is the Life Coaching for Mompreneurs podcast. Let's do this. Well, hey friends, and welcome back to Life Coaching for Mompreneurs. I'm your host, Martine Williams, your CEO, your Chief Encouragement Officer, and I am freshly back from a vacation. And honestly, it feels like it's been almost a 2-week vacation because the week before my vacation, I had company in town as well. And so I love the summers where there's plenty of opportunity to work, but then there's also opportunity to play. And we work hard so we can play hard. And while I was on vacation, there was this thing that happened. We have lots of family that live, it was a staycation. So we have lots of family that come down to this area. And there's about 2 or 3 days where we're all kind of together, like my extended family, my cousins, and now they're older and they all have had kids and getting married and all the things. So it's like, it's a pack of people. It's a lot of people. And we spend a lot of our time on the Garden City or the Murrells Inlet Point, which is kind of our own beach area, and lots of boats, lots of activities. If you follow me on Instagram at Martine31Williams, you usually will find some videos of that location. But I wanted to share with you today and dive into something it was really profound for me over this weekend. And I think it's going to speak directly to you as well. And I want to talk about, you've heard me talk about you find what you're looking for. And you've heard me share my story about the shark's teeth. And that's one of my favorite things to do when I go to the beach, and that I find what I'm looking for, which is shark's tooth. But what do you do when you're not finding it? So again, if you followed me for any length of time, you know I love shark tooth hunting. It's my thing. It's like one of the things that when I go to the beach, I can really take my mind off of everything else. And as an entrepreneur and as a mom, this brain of mine is always running. And so when I'm spending time focusing on hunting for shark's teeth, it's like doing a puzzle, and it allows me just to be where my feet are. And I'm not thinking about all the other things. So here is what I've noticed. When I go to the beach with the mindset, right, that I will find the shark tooth, guess what? I usually do. Even when it's cloudy, even when the sand's stirred up, or even when like other people are saying like, this is not a good day, they're not out here today. And again, I believe that the reason I still find one is because I'm looking for it. And I'm very intentional about that. Like I didn't do a ton of that this week. I normally walk around to the beach side and intentionally do some shark's teeth hunting. And I didn't this time. I just didn't want to focus on that, which again, I mean, I kind of loosely did it, but it's like, if I didn't see one or I didn't find one, it wasn't a big deal. But when I'm focused and that is my goal, I find one because it's what I'm looking for. And it's not that, again, the teeth weren't there before. It's just, I wasn't tuned in this time. I just really wasn't tuned into doing it. I wasn't focused. And the same is true in business and in life. We find what we're looking for. If you're constantly looking for the evidence that you're behind, or that you're not enough, or that it's not working, you will find it. But if you start looking for progress, for alignment, for support, for the ways things are working, you're going to find that too. And here's the twist. Sometimes, even with the right mindset, and this was kind of my aha over vacation, we still need support to find what we're looking for. So while we were on vacation and we were spending time with the extended family I think this was on July 4th. So this place is packed on July 4th, 3 boats deep off from the shore and lots of people. So anyway, one of my cousin's husband, I don't remember why he did this, but he took his wedding band off his finger while he was out in the water with a bunch of people. And I think he was going to show them maybe the engraving on the inside. Anyway, as he was pulling it off his finger, it like flung into the water. Gone, right? Like you're not finding that with all those people and all the boat traffic and everything, but it was gone. And so one of the other cousins that was there floating on the float beside him was like, dude, why would you take off your wedding band in the water? And just kind of like in a very friendly, like kidding way was, giving a hard time about it. And so then the next day, that same person lost his wedding band. So now we have 2 like pretty newly married couples. The men had lost their wedding bands in this same location. And so the first person had already made up in their mind that they weren't going to be able to find it. It was in the water. It was a lost cause, and just called his jeweler and was going to have another one waiting for him when he got back to Charlotte. The other one, the second one, decided, hey, I'm going to reach out in the community and find, is there someone in the area who can help us search for my wedding band? 2 different mindsets, 2 different perspectives. And so through this process of just sharing on like the Murrells Inlet page, someone shares this organization that's, I think it's countrywide, where you have people who come onto these beaches and they have metal detectors and they search for lost jewelry, and it's not something you really pay them for, but you can tip them and pay for their gas and all the things. So this gentleman comes to this area. He's retired, and you can just tell this is just like a hobby, something he loves doing, connecting people back to their valued treasures. And he comes out to the beach, to the inlet, and he just starts using the metal detector and digging, and he probably pulls up at least 10 fishing weights. And so like just searching, he's all up and down the area where we were not. This is the second guy's wedding band, not the one who was in the water, but the one that was on the beach when he thought he lost his. And so I'm watching this and I'm sitting here thinking, there's no way. There's just literally no way he's going to find this wedding band. And lo and behold, he finds the wedding band. After, I want to say he searched probably an hour or so, and he found the wedding band. And so then we're like, okay, so I wonder if he can find the first guy's wedding band. And so we kind of told him where we thought it was at. I mean, again, he was in the water when this happened. He goes out there. Y'all, he found both wedding bands, one in the water and one in the sand. And it just blew my mind. And I was just sitting here watching all of us kind of going up and down the beach, all looking for, the wedding band, but calling in the expert, the person who had the experience, someone who had done this before. He had the right tools, and he knew how to navigate the process, none of which any of us knew how to do. And he actually explained to us that he had searched for a wedding ring for 4 months before he found it, but he did find it. And it just, again, as a coach, if I have fellow coaches that are listening, like it's just how my brain works. I'm always trying to connect the dots. I'm always trying to think about how does this apply to my life and to my client's life. And I just kept coming back to my thoughts around we find what we're looking for. And for the most part, we do, but sometimes it requires us to call in the expert, because sometimes what you're looking for can't be found alone. Not because you're not smart enough or I'm not smart enough or we're not capable enough, but because you need a different perspective. You need a better tool, a fresh set of eyes, or simply someone who has been there before and can guide you. And that's who this person was. And I mean, honestly, like I feel like I have strong belief, but I did not believe this man was going to find these rings, especially not both of them. Hey, friend, let's talk. It's time to book your clarity call. We are going to spend 1 full hour focused on you. A clarity call isn't about pressure. It's about possibilities. It's about you. You having a space to talk through what's on your heart and mind, you walking away with a clear vision and practical next steps, and you feeling confident in what's next and how to get there. You don't need to have it all figured out. That's my job. All you need to do is show up and we'll figure it out together. This is the best hour you can invest in yourself right now. Not in 6 months from now, not next month, right now. And don't just take my word for it. Here's what one of my coaching clients had to say after working together.
Working with Martine helped my confidence in starting and growing a new business. I had an idea of what I wanted to do, but I wasn't quite sure how to accomplish it. Martine helped me work through my ideas based on the results of my pro scan, and having weekly calls really helped me stay focused and working toward my goal. I highly recommend working with Martine for those who want to grow their business or who are just getting started. Having that focused time to work and work together is priceless.
That transformation, it starts with one conversation. It's time to stop spinning your wheels and start making real progress. So head right now to martinewilliams.com or in the show notes and grab your private clarity call spot on my calendar before they're gone. And since I personally monitor my inbox, if you don't see a time slot that fits your calendar, just send me an email at martinewilliams.com with 3 times that do work, and I will make it work for you. All right, friend, let's get back to the show. And so let's talk a little bit about like counting the real cost of trying to do and find these things alone. Because yes, investing in coaching is an investment. I won't sugarcoat that. I've invested thousands of dollars in coaching over my almost 2 decades as an entrepreneur. But I want you to zoom out for a second. I want you to think about investing in coaching is expensive, but investing in trying to figure it out all on your own is expensive. Like, how much time would we have spent walking up and down those beaches, digging in the sand with no gear, no tools, no experience to find these rings? How much time would we have spent and wasted? Investing in tools you never use or courses you don't finish, that's expensive too, right? And we've all done that. We've invested in courses, we've invested in maybe some free downloads, but you don't do anything with it. That's expensive too. But you know what's the most expensive? Is prolonging your goals, prolonging you getting the results that you want, prolonging your burnout, prolonging the overwhelm that you're in, prolonging living out of alignment with your assignment, out of alignment with your power, out of alignment with your priorities, and out of alignment with your purpose. Delaying your clarity, staying stuck in patterns that aren't working, continuing to operate without support, hoping you will eventually stumble across what you're looking for, is no different than us hoping and continuing to operate with our own skill sets of trying to find those wedding bands and hoping that we would eventually stumble across the wedding bands. Because here's the truth, if nothing changes, nothing changes. Nothing changes if nothing changes. The results that you're getting now from the thoughts that you have, the actions that you're taking, the emotions that you're feeling, that's not going to change unless something else changes. So I want you to ask yourself, what problem will persist if you don't invest in support, if you don't call in the expert to help? And honestly, for a lot of my coaching clients, just that feeling of support is enough to invest. Knowing they have someone that they can have thought partnership with on their ideas, on their plans, on once we get into alignment, just staying in action and feeling the support on your way to wherever you're wanting to go, that's enough to invest. So what problem will persist if you don't invest in the support? What frustration will you keep circling back to if nothing changes? What opportunity will you miss while you're spinning your wheels? You don't have to keep digging alone. You don't have to keep digging in that sand and looking for something. without having that support, without having the tools that you need to find what it is that you're looking for. So whether you're trying to find your rhythm, create new healthy habits, rediscover your identity, maybe you have been living by what everyone else tells you that you should be and have what everyone else is telling you you should have, that you don't even know anymore who you are and what you want and what's fun for you and what's possible for you because you've been living through the identity of everyone else's expectations. Or maybe you're trying to build a business that doesn't burn you out. I want you to know this, that you don't have to do that alone. You can borrow belief. You can borrow my belief. A lot of clients come in, that's what they're doing. They're borrowing my belief until we build it for them. You can borrow tools and you can borrow vision until you find your own again. That's what coaching is. It's not just about accountability. It is that. I just had a call with a client today and she's like, if I wouldn't have had this call with you today, I know I would have procrastinated and not finished this project or started this project that I wanted to work on. So it's not just about accountability. Accountability is a part of it, but it's also about alignment. It's about clarity. It's about capacity. It's the kind of support that shortens the distance between where you are and where you want to be. Because again, if you could have done this alone, you would have already done it. If you could have created the results you're looking for alone, you would have already done it. Because I know you. You're a high achieving woman, and that's just who you are. But somewhere along the way, you have become misaligned with who you are. You don't know who you are anymore because you've been living by the expectations and the identity of who other people tell you that you should be or need to be. This is so common and I see it all the time. It's a form of burnout that we just don't talk about a lot, is that identity crisis, that who am I and what's fun for me and what would I actually enjoy doing? And it creates so much lack of self-trust and confidence that you just constantly stay in proving energy. You're trying to prove to yourself, you're trying to prove to others, and that creates misalignment and that creates burnout. So if you're ready to stop searching and start finding, let's talk. I've been where you are, maybe not your specific situation, but the things that you have been experiencing with burnout and overwhelm and losing yourself on the way to building the business, to being out of alignment with your assignment, to experiencing burnout. I've been there. And I can be like the metal detector guy who came to the beach and had the right tools and had the right perspective and had, or not even the right, but the different perspectives that were required to find what you're looking for. So this is just kind of a little amendment to my you find what you're looking for, because you can find what you're looking for, but sometimes we need to call in some support. We need to call in the support. So I want to encourage you to book a clarity call with me at martinewilliams.com/clarity. That is your first step. That is your next step. Just let's get on the phone and let's just talk through where you are, what you're looking for, how I can help you do that, and what are some next best steps for you. It's a no pressure call. It's just an opportunity for you to get all the things out of your head, have a thought partner to talk through those things. And then if it makes sense and you want to move forward, we can work together. And if not, that's fine too. But there's so much value in just understanding and diagnosing where you are right now, and then seeing a clear plan on how you can move forward. So martinewilliams.com/clarity. And just know we will figure out together what your next step is. And until next time, I'm believing in you always. And remember, what you look for, you'll find. And what you invest in, you grow. So don't wait for the perfect moment. It's not a feeling, it's a decision. So let's make it together. All right, friends, talk to you soon. Well, that's a wrap, friends. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. I really hope it met you right where you are and gave you some encouragement for your day. Could you do me the biggest favor and leave me a rating and review? Seriously, it's the best way for you to support the show. And while you're there, be sure to follow the show so you never miss an episode. Thanks again. And until next time, I am believing in you always.